Success may start in the mind, but I believe it's finished in the spirit. And what I mean by that is, we may have a lot of discipline, we may have strong willpower, we may have an incredible game plan, but unless we really believe deep within ourselves that we're able to achieve the goal, we'll never accomplish what we set out to do. And so in today's video, I'm going to discuss the power of belief and how cultivating a strong belief system within yourself can help you achieve any goal you set out to achieve. Now, this comes from a coaching call I recently had, and we're discussing things in terms of fitness, but just know that this encompasses all areas of life. And so if you get anything of value today, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's dive into today's content. And we'll get started. So awesome. Yep. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. We're going to talk about the power of belief. I'm going to kind of, I don't want to say rush through this as quickly as I can, but I want to get to a place where we can kind of talk about any questions y'all have and maybe answer some things that you have going on according to your personal goals and stuff like that. Regarding the call we did the other day, I had that recorded. I'm going to edit a couple of things and then I'll share that with you guys once it's done. That way you can go and check that out. But today what we're talking about is the power of belief, okay? And so if you're following along, I dropped that workbook in the Facebook group. You can kind of follow along. We'll be going right along with it here in this presentation. If not, then you're in for a ride. I'm going to be sharing some good stuff. So first off, let's talk about what we're going to cover tonight, okay? We're going to talk about just some essential components regarding belief, what it is. I'm not going to get super weird, esoteric, or religious on you tonight. I really just want to talk about it from like a deep personal point of view and how it affects us with the goals that we set, the things that we want to accomplish in our lives. And from that kind of point, there's still a spiritual element to it for sure. And we'll kind of get into that, but we're going to talk about understanding belief, what belief is. We're going to talk about the different types of belief, and we're going to talk about the impact of belief on our personal growth. We'll talk about, shifting negative beliefs and how to cultivate empowering beliefs. And then we're going to talk about applying this power of belief that we're going to be learning about tonight. So that's kind of what we've got here. I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as we can. But if you guys have questions or, you want to stop or anything like that, then let me know, because you can just unmute yourselves or drop it in the chat where I'll see it. And we can kind of dive into that. Sound good, you guys? Cool. So first thing I want to talk about is belief itself. Okay. Now I want to ask you, do you believe? Right now we're in the Christmas season, right? And it's funny, my 3-year-old son, Ben, I know you'll relate to this. He's in there and he's all excited that it's Christmas. And me and Haley, we've been kind of talking like, how do we navigate like the whole Santa issue? Like, do we tell him that he's not real? Do we tell him like it's just like an idea? Like, how do we go about that? Do we play along? And then like when he's 10 years old, we got to like break the news to him. Like, what does that look like? Like, how do we navigate this best as parents? Like, we don't really know how to do that, And so what's funny is he wants to believe. And really, no matter what we say to him, he's looking out in his external environment to affirm the fact that Santa is real. Anytime we go somewhere, he's like, look, there's Santa. If he sees him on like a coffee mug or something, he's like, look, he's right there. There's Santa. So he really wants to believe that this guy's real, which is kind of funny. And there's something about that childlike faith that we lose as we get older. And it really is an important, critical part to us achieving success, not just with our health and fitness, but with anything that we want to accomplish in life. Belief is critical. For many, it's like the missing ingredient from them achieving their goals or not. It's that thing that takes the impossible and it makes it possible. It's like that old Henry Ford quote where he said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right? It's like if you don't have that belief, then the chances of you accomplishing that thing are going to be very limited. But when you really believe in yourself, it kind of changes things for you. When you have that conviction, that trust, that faith, it drives you to go and get those results. I've had experiences in my life where I've done everything right. I've followed the program, I've done the blueprint, and I'm doing everything step by step by step, but I still couldn't get the results. It's like, what gives? Like, I'm doing the right stuff. Why am I not getting what I paid for? Why am I not getting the results? And really what it comes down to, Sisha, have you got audio now? Really what it comes down to is belief. It comes down to, I didn't fully believe in my abilities to accomplish that thing that I was going after. And because I didn't believe it was possible, I was passive in my actions. I was just kind of going through the motions. I'm like, yeah, I mean, nothing's really worked for me in the past. Why is this going to work? Why is this any better? Nonetheless, I'm going to do it. And when we go at it with this passive frame of mind, we don't really apply that energy. We don't really have that effort. And it makes a difference. It really does. It's the difference between being passive and being intentional. And that's really what I want to focus on with you guys moving forward. And when we talk about what belief is. So we're going to talk about that. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is understanding belief. What is belief in regards to us achieving our fitness goals? Why are we talking about Santa Claus and, believing in all, what does this matter? Is this really going to help me? Absolutely. Belief is defined as trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. And it's often something that we cannot see. We have to put our faith and trust in something that is not there, right? Maybe for you, it's dropping a few pounds or getting the 6-pack or just living a healthier life. And that may be difficult for you to see. And it's why we talked about in the goal setting session, the importance of really developing that clear vision in your mind is you've got to believe in something that's really not in the external environment yet. You've got to believe that it is real. And the thing is we all believe something already. By default, we are belief humans. I don't know a better way to put that. Maybe Ben can help me, but we all believe in something, and what we believe in affects how we interpret the reality that we live in. We have certain convictions and preferences, and that affects not only our abilities, but also our potential and what we're able to achieve. When we look at the core of belief, it really comes down to our personal identity. And that's really what belief is. Anton Chekhov, he's like this famous playwright. I'm sure some of you guys may be familiar with him. And he says, a man is what he believes. A man is what he believes. The level or quality of our belief actually says a lot about who we are and what we accomplish in our life. In science and research, they continue to affirm that belief is very much like this glue that holds things together. It kind of plays not just the spiritual, but I mean, it improves the mental and the emotional and the physical. It really does improve all of these different areas. And it's kind of like glue where it pulls them all together. And so we're going to explore this more as we kind of go forward. So there's two different types of belief that I really want to talk to you guys about today, okay? There's limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs. Now, really quick in the chat, let me know if you've heard of these two things before. I'm sure this is not a new concept to you guys, particularly you, Ben. I'm sure you've kind of dealt with this before in the past, your limiting beliefs and your empowering beliefs. Well, here's what it says. Your limiting belief is it's a state of mind or belief about yourself that actually restricts you in some way. And these beliefs are actually usually false accusations that you make about yourself, and they cause a number of different negative results. Some different limiting beliefs that you might think of or you might have are, I'm not good enough. Like, I'm not good enough to manage this project. I'm not good enough to reach this goal. I'm not good enough to be a father, whatever it is. You might say I'm too old or I'm too young. I'm too young to be a manager. Many of you guys who know me, y'all know I used to want to be an actor, but I kept like making this excuse. Like, I'm too young to break into Hollywood, or and then I turned 25. I'm like, well, now I'm too old to break into Hollywood. We have these limiting beliefs about ourselves. I don't have enough time. That's a big one with fitness is I don't have enough time, but this can actually be like a limiting belief. I'm not smart enough. These are all limiting beliefs because it limits our ability and our potential to go and do the things that we want to. Now, there may be, I don't want to say some truth to it, but we make it true because of what we believe, right? It comes down to our identity. Now, we also have something called empowering beliefs. Empowering beliefs are these things that we have about ourselves. They're helpful. they're positive, and most times they're accurate. At first, they feel false because we're not used to telling ourselves them, but they're usually a better interpretation of reality than the limiting beliefs are. And they give us power because they affect our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and they help us take positive action and feel good about ourselves. A couple of empowering beliefs that you might have is, my past does not equal my future. What happened back then, that doesn't define who I am today or who I'm going to be. Another one is, no matter what happens, I can handle it. There is no failure. There's only feedback. The things that happen to me, I can use these things to learn and grow. There are no problems. There's only challenges. If what I'm doing is not working, I will try something else, right? These are empowering beliefs that make us feel where we're not stuck, like we can overcome these things and we can grow and develop and change, right? So really quick, I want to stop right here and I want to ask you guys, like, what are some limiting beliefs that you might have regarding your health or your fitness or any other life goals? Like, we don't even have to just restrict this to fitness. All of this stuff is connected anyways. But let me know of like some limiting beliefs that you may have had now or in the past that have affected your abilities to make progress. Anybody?
Yeah, Harley. That is actually one of my problems right now is kind of limit myself, my belief in my time to work out. When I realize, I do have plenty of time to work out, I just choose to do other things
Right.
within that time.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I always think too, some of your big, like, I don't know, there's these, doctors and there's, multimillionaire entrepreneurs and all of these people who are 100% way busier than me. And they still make time to get, 45 minutes to an hour and a half of exercise in every single day. And it's like, wow, if they're doing it, and I know they're busier than me, their phone's probably like always going off the hook, emails always going off the hook, but they're still making time. Like, what's my excuse, especially if it's people who I kind of look up to, that's awesome, Harley. Thank you for sharing that. Anything else? Yeah, I mean, even outside of the realms of health and fitness, I have had, ones that's like, I feel like I'm always going to be poor. A big limiting belief of mine that I had in the past was I'm never going to be good enough. I'm destined to be a failure. Like, I'm never going to make it. Like, these were limiting beliefs about myself that really entrapped me. And ultimately, like, they kind of created this prison for myself. And, I have a story that I share. I'm not going to share it right now, where I talk about how I kind of broke out of that cycle and it came to like this like rock bottom moment where I chose, you know what? I'm not going to be stuck with these thoughts anymore. I'm going to start changing my thoughts. And it shifted to the more empowering beliefs that I started to tell myself. And like I said, at first it was like lying to myself. I was like, this is not real. Like, I had to really force that belief. And so that's what I want to go into now. What types of empowering beliefs do you guys have? Yes, Ben, that's good. I'll get fit when blank. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead, Simone.
Can you hear me, Chase?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh my gosh, you're making me reevaluate a lot of things right now.
Good.
Yeah, empowering beliefs. Oh my gosh, I've been through so much this year that I think I could do a lot of things, but my disempowering belief is that I think I'm limited to the size I currently am, and that
Yeah.
I couldn't, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So really quick, this is just a little thought experiment. We're going to go deeper into this, but Simone, and me and you have done this before in the past when we worked together. But what is a new belief that we can replace that old belief system with? What's a new one that like we can, say, you know what, I'm going to do away with this limiting belief and I'm going to swap in this empowering belief. What's one that we could put in there?
Oof. I guess that, I don't know. That,
Sorry to put you on the spot.
yeah, you are. I'm trying to think here. How could I get rid of this limiting belief? I know deep down inside I could. It's just the believing itself that is not there.
Yeah.
I know I could take action to do it. It's just that belief is like, I was born this way. This cannot change.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
still that voice inside my head.
Yeah, and it's all limiting beliefs, and so one that we could swap out, I don't want to do the job for you, but a simple one, we want to eliminate the limiting belief with something that is believable. I can change my body. And Simone, you have seen that in the work that you've done. Is you have been able to develop muscle, you have been able to grow stronger. And so that is something that you can cling to. And so whenever this negative belief comes up, I'm always going to look this way, or I was born this way, or I'm not going to be able to change my body. Immediately we say, no, I can change my body. And that becomes your new anchor. And as you start to move forward, you can start to even we'll talk about upgrading this empowering belief to, no, I can, drop to, a lower body fat percentage, or whatever that new empowering belief would be. I can maintain the goals that I've reached, whatever that may be. Yes, that's good, Ben.
Yeah.
That's good, Ben. I have more control than I've recognized. Awesome. So let's dive back into this, guys. So moving on, let's talk about the impact of belief on personal growth. Okay. And this is going to be something a little bit, I'll kind of skim through this a little bit if you're following along in the workbook, but belief is very much a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Just like we discussed, when we have these thoughts and beliefs about ourselves, our minds and our emotions and our bodies will reflect that belief to basically prove the fact that that belief is real, that conviction is real. We've all had that. We've heard that story of the friend where bad things always say, we have that friend who always says bad things always happen to them. Bad things always happen to me. Bad things always happen to me. This friend. And then sure enough, you actually see the bad things happening to them. You're like, wow, I don't know if I want to be around this person. Like, I don't want their juju to get on me or whatever. But they become so convinced that they're a person who bad things happen to them, that they are looking for more bad things to happen to them. They're literally seeking it out in the environment, very much like we talked about Arrow looking for Santa Claus and ultimately to kind of affirm to him that he's real. Right. And there's this interesting thing that the human brain has called the reticular activating system, or your RAS. And this thing has multiple different functions. And Ben, you're the expert here with psychology and that kind of stuff. So you may be able to talk on this a little bit better than I am. But basically, it's this bundle of nerves that sits at the brainstem. But what it does is it regulates, behavioral arousal. It affects consciousness. It affects motivation. But the cool thing is it affects how our minds see and interpret things in our reality. And so one thing that our RAS does is when we tell ourselves something, our mind begins to look out into the external environment for it, right? And it's that whole idea. I know y'all have done this before where, if you close your eyes and you think of the color red, you're just thinking about the color red. You're envisioning it. You're seeing what shade it is. You're seeing what color it is, right? You're just putting nothing but red in your mind's eye. Then you open it up and immediately everything in your environment is you find the red everywhere. You know what I mean? Like I have my audio interface right here and it's a bright red color. It's the first thing that stuck out. I've got some Post-it notes over here that are red. Immediately they popped out, right? And that's kind of how our RAS works. So when we have these beliefs, whether they're limiting or empowering, our mind is going to be seeking out where to find those in the external environment. Does that make sense, you guys? And so when we have a belief about ourselves where at first it feels false, but we start to really believe it, I am fit, I am healthy, I am lean, I am strong, whatever it is, we're going to start looking to see that. And we're going to make sure that the things that we do are in reflection of that, because every time now that we eat a bite, it's got to reflect the new belief that we have for ourselves. Does that kind of make sense? And then anytime you have this belief about yourself where you're saying, I'm strong, I'm fit, I'm lean, I'm healthy, whatever it is. And then you find yourself, devouring a whole cheesecake by yourself. your mind's going to pick up and be like, whoa, 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 this is out of alignment with what we believe. You're going to get like a check in your spirit, like, okay, hold up here. This does not align with what we believe, you know? And so sometimes this is a process that you kind of have to work through. And that leads me to kind of this next point that I want to talk about. Okay. I want to break down everything that we're discussing here into what I call the high-powered belief and success cycle, okay? Now, I can't take any credit for this. This was introduced to me by a coach of mine, and I'm serious, you guys. When I learned this, it changed the game for me. So I'm super pumped to share this for you, okay? But before I dive into that, don't skip ahead because I want to share this with you. The truth is, you are limitless. Anything is possible for you. And I don't mean to be like cliche, like motivational speaker dude right now, but seriously, anything is possible for you. However, you are limited by what you can accomplish because of your belief. Okay. And we're going to see how belief affects our ability to become limitless. Okay. All right. We're just going to dive into it. Check this out. This is what I call the high-powered belief and success cycle. Okay, you guys checking this out? All right, so here's how I want to break this down, okay? It starts with your belief, okay? The amount of belief, now remember, belief is trusting and believing, having faith in something that is not seen yet, right? That's what belief is, okay? Powerful. The amount of your belief will lead to the amount of potential that you can access. Now, potential, that is like it opening up in your mind's eye, right? Oh, you start to see all of these things that you can accomplish, these things that you can achieve, things that you want to do, right? This is your potential, right? And right now you may have limited potential to what's possible to you because of, once again, your belief system. But when you start to see, you change your belief system, you start to see more potential for yourself, more things that you can do, a new body for yourself, a new mind, a new career, a new way of living, whatever it is, that leads to the amount of action that you can take, right? The more potential you have, the more amount of action that you want to take that's going to align with that potential, right? It encourages you to take action. Then the action that you take guides you to your results. Guys, whether you like it or not, right now we're getting results, right? If we look in the mirror or we look at our life, whatever it is, we're getting results, and they're in direct proportion to the action we take, which is a reflection of our potential, which is a reflection of our belief. Okay, but this is like that. I said, this is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when you change your belief, just like we used with Simone, maybe it's just, I can change my body. Well, now she's got access to greater potential of how she can change her body, right? And that's going to start to present different images, which is going to lead to her taking certain actions to reflect that, which is going to yield her results. Now, as she starts to get results, that's going to strengthen her belief system. As her belief system grows or becomes stronger, the quality of her belief increases. Now she's recognizing even more potential, which leads to her taking more action, which leads to her getting more results, which strengthens her belief. Do you see how this can really start to elevate? Like right here on the screen, it looks like a circle, but what it really is like an upward spiral, right? As you start to believe more, you access more potential, you take more action, you get more results. It brings you up, and that's how you ultimately become what we call limitless. Now, guys, I'm sharing this information with you. I'm talking about limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs. And I just want to stop right here and let y'all know I ain't perfect at all. I got my own limiting beliefs. I got my own stuff that I'm dealing with. I got my own places. Like, I am not up here at the top. Like, I am not, what's his name, who was on the movie Limitless. I'm not him, right? I'm on the journey just like you guys. But this information changed my life. And I can't, you learn something and you're so excited about it, you just got to share it. That's how I feel with this. Okay. So really quick, I want to stop right here and y'all tell me, how do y'all feel about that? Does that make sense? Does that click? Does that resonate for y'all? What do y'all think?
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of feels like the what's that book? The Method or something like that. The Secret, where
Okay.
you believing these things, and even if you don't really believe them at first, just running that through your head over and over again really starts to manifest this stuff into your actual life. I think
Right.
that's really awesome.
Right, right. Yeah. In popular culture, we've kind of taken this idea of manifestation that you just like kind of sit in the closet and you meditate and all of a sudden you get this cool stuff. Well, it misses that whole action part, which is 100% critical. The thing is when you believe, it causes you to act. When you believe firmly and confidently and you're convicted in that belief, it leads you to take action. It drives you to take action, which therefore you get results. So yeah, 100% though, man. I love that. Anything else, you guys?
I think what I guess slapped me in the face metaphorically that you said, no matter what, you're getting results, but those results
Yeah.
depend on your actions.
Yes.
That was a good thing to hear out loud.
Yeah, it's like we know that, but it's like, wow, thanks for rubbing that in. Yeah, and there's so many things. Like I heard something earlier today, I think it was, where it was like, you personal trainers, y'all are talking to people about calories, but you're not counting like the other stuff, and I was like, dang, it's so true. Like I want to get up here and preach about nutrition and mindset and all this different stuff, but like there's areas of my life too where it's lacking with the very same stuff I'm sharing with you guys. So this connects with like everything that we're talking about. So awesome. Anything else on that note before we move on?
How do you stick to that belief when the day-to-day life tries to spur you away from it? You know what I'm saying? You just get caught up in things. And you're like, you forget about that belief, and then you have to kind of, it's almost like an intentional thing. How do you make that get instilled in you? You wake up.
I'm so glad you asked, because we're going to dive into that right now. Okay. So diving back into our screen share here, we're going to talk about shifting negative beliefs. How do we get rid of those negative beliefs that kind of creep in? Well, the first thing that we have to do, like you said, Simone, we've got to become very conscientious. We've got to become very aware of our mind, So in order for us to experience that positive feedback loop, right, that upward spiral that we were talking about, then we have to start implementing some of these, like what they call cognitive restructuring techniques, or Ben, help me out here. It's from cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT.
Mm-hmm.
And basically these things, they help people overcome their limiting beliefs and develop more positive habits and thought patterns and stuff. So that's what we're really going to do. We're going to talk about two specifically regarding shifting away from negative beliefs that we might have. Okay. Number one is called reframing, and number two is called positive affirmations. And I know you guys are familiar with both of these, but it's kind of important that we start to look at these, and then we, yes. So, and Ben, you probably even know of way more of these techniques that we can use that, like, I'm not even mentioning. I only took two just because of time and like not to overwhelm. And these are the two that I used personally. Okay. So reframing is the practice of changing the way a situation is interpreted, right? So many times things will happen to us and it sparks that belief, it like confirms that belief that we had about ourselves, and it starts to kind of create the negative feedback loop where we start to go down, or we stay in the same place, is what it feels like. And so basically what reframing is, to kind of keep it brief, is when we have this thought or this belief come into our mind, like I said, it requires being very conscious. We stop and we reframe it, and we change the way we're thinking about it. So once again, that thought that comes in, we say, all right, hold up. I'm not going to accept, I'm not going to reject that thought, but I am going to challenge it. And I'm actually going to reframe it into something a little bit more positive or encouraging or empowering, right? And that leads me to the positive affirmations. These are great tools to reframe or replace these negative thought and belief patterns. Guys, like I said, I was in this like mental prison where I literally thought like I was just going to be a failure. I was at this like rock bottom moment. And these two things helped me incredibly, because I realized like no one was coming to save me. Like I wasn't going to have this like crazy lucky break. If anything were to be, it was up to me, right? That cliche quote. And so I started having to be very conscious about the thoughts that came into my head. So whenever that thought came in, like I'm a failure, I would immediately stop and say, no, I'm a winner. And I would repeat it over and over and over again. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I can do it. I am great. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I can do it. I am great. And I would say it again and again and again until my my state started to change. Like I would start just like hyping myself up. Like I'm jumping in my seat. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I can do it. I am great. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. Like, I mean, it sounds goofy, but it works. It works. It changes your state. And when you do that over and over and over again, the negative belief starts to go out. I think that they said that we have, I think it's up to 60,000 thoughts a day, 60,000 thoughts a day. And I think 3 out of 4 of them are negative, or 80% of them are negative. So therefore it takes like, I think 3 to 5 positive thoughts to counteract the negative one that we have. And that's why positive affirmations is not just this like one thing that we say passively, you know, like you do it at the end of a yoga class, you know, I am well, I am at peace. Like, no, you've got to go in on these affirmations. No, I'm a winner and I believe it. I'm putting my whole body into it. I'm putting all of my emotions into it. You feel silly, but it's worth it. And I highly recommend that you try it. So that's how we can shift them. Now, let's talk about cultivating these empowering beliefs. Okay. So 2 things that I want to talk about: goal setting and visualization. So we talked about goal setting a lot in the last call. And like I said, I'm going to put that up. That way you guys can check that out. But whenever you have new empowering beliefs and we talk about that success cycle, we want to set a game plan to help us go after the things that like that align with that belief that we have, right? And it also like breaks it down and tracks it. That way you can stir up those results and build up that belief, right? Goal setting. The second one, visualization, right? This was another one that I really, really used in conjunction with the positive affirmations, is just simply closing my eyes and visualizing myself like 20 pounds lighter. I would literally like do a Photoshop in my head, like slapping my face on Arnold Schwarzenegger's body. Like, and I would just be like, that's my body now. That's my body now. And I would just force that image in my mind. And it felt so goofy. It felt so silly. Like I'm never going to look like that dude, but it helped me start to kind of changed the way I saw myself, because what I was seeing in what I was seeing reflected in the mirror was not what I wanted to be my reality. And so I had to constantly use this visualization to kind of shift that and change that. So that's our 2 things that we can do. So what I'm going to do really quick for the last like 5 minutes is just do a quick discussion. Like, guys, what did y'all think about that information? Did that stuff help you guys? Anything on those techniques that you can use to kind of cultivate an empowering belief or anything like that? What do y'all got?
I did have a question.
Yeah.
You said when you first started, it felt kind of like unnatural. It felt kind of weird. Do you find that as you continue to do it, it just starts like automatically, or like feeling less weird, automatically starting, like you automatically start having these more positive thoughts?
Yes, 100%. So now, like, here's the thing is it goes back to there's levels to it. So back then it was very much like I was hyper aware of it, and those thoughts would creep in and I would immediately like attack it. Right. And then it felt unnatural. It felt weird. But then very much like you said, eventually it's like my mind attacked it on its own. Like I would feel that thing drift up and immediately like it was like autonomic. Like it just started doing it on its own. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's ride this. Like I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I can do it. Like, it's so goofy, but it really does work. But the thing is like now, like I said, there's levels to it. There's other things in my life where I have other limiting beliefs that have been like layered down and compressed down for years and years and years and years that are continually like coming to the surface that I have to be even more hyper vigilant about. Right. And so know that that's going to happen for you as well. So you've always got to be on guard and ready to attack these thoughts and take them captive and replace them. What else, you guys? Anything else on this stuff? Was it good? Was it helpful?
Oh yeah.
I would just like to add something. I love the tools. I think, spot on. One thing we can do also is just kind of look for the evidence, right?
Yes.
Often, I run into this yo-yo approach. Like I'll be good on track in the gym, dieting's good, nutrition's good for a month, and then I fall off, right? And then it's like, well, throw it all away, right? There's no point in continuing until the next yo-yo effect. So, what I like to do is to challenge those kind of negative thoughts, those beliefs that start to surface is, I've been there, I've done it, I can do it again, right? and really looking at the evidence to support that change.
Man, that's good. Yeah, yeah. And you have those reference points of the past of, hey, this was achievable for me. Now I want to surpass that this time, And so that's why success looks more like this rather than a linear straight line up, So yeah, that's so good. So good. Guys, we got like 3 minutes left. Do y'all have any other like remarks or any other questions? It can be related to the call or not.
Yeah, Chase, I just got to say, man, I really love the way that you're incorporating like psychology into the whole workout aspect, because, like I would say workout is a mainly mental thing. And so many people don't, so many trainers and coaches like completely gloss over that. They're just like, here's your workout schedule and stuff. But the hardest thing is actually getting to the gym, changing these things, taking away these negative thoughts. And I just got to say, I love the way you're incorporating that into this whole program.
Thank you. Yes. And I agree 100% with that. And it's because I've been doing this for going on 5 years. And it was something that I glossed over for a long time. And it was the thing that really excited me when I first got started was the whole mindset thing. But also, like, if I made a course, like a full on, like, how to become successful course, people would skip over this part. They're like, give me the meat, give me the fun stuff, give me the good stuff. I don't care about the mindset stuff. I don't care about the belief stuff. Like, I just want the stuff that's going to make me more money or get me fit. You know what I mean? And this is the most important. So yes. And not only that, but it's helpful, not just with your fitness, but this can be applied to anything that you want to do. And that's really why I wanted to share it. So
I think fitness improves your mental toughness, right? It's like that self-imposed challenge that you go through and that you can apply, to other areas of your life. If you're willing to go through all the hard parts of fitness and the challenging areas, you're getting stronger mentally.
I agree. Well, awesome, you guys. Anything else here with the last little bit of time? Remember, y'all can always reach out to me directly if you have questions that we weren't able to cover here. We'll do another call in, I think, 2 weeks if I don't get excited and just want to do another one, because these are fun. And I love that y'all are participating and being a part of it and dropping stuff in the chat and talking. Like, man, it makes this so much more engaging rather than me just like talking at a screen and like, are y'all there? You know what I mean? So awesome, you guys. Well, thank y'all for hopping on here and taking some time out of your night. Me and Arrow, we just did some gingerbread cookies, so I'm going to drop that in the post for the holiday treat. So awesome. All right, you guys. Well, y'all have a good night. Love y'all, and thank you so much, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Take it easy, everybody.
Yeah, I'll take it easy.
Well, that wraps up today's video. I hope you got something of value. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you can constantly be updated with anything that we've got coming out that will help you live the high-powered life. My name's Chase Livingston, your trainer for life, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.